I pull up, roll the window down it. I pull up, roll the window down it. Yeah, I pull up, roll the window down it.
Baby, you don't know what you do to me. Between me and you, I feel like chemistry. I won't let no one come and take your place. Cause the love you give, you can't
Hi, hotties, kettles, tea stirs. You here for hot tea? All commentary is alleged, and in my opinion, this is for entertainment purposes only. If you aren't already subscribed to the channel, definitely go ahead and subscribe. It's 40% of you guys that keep coming back to watch my videos, but you aren't subscribed, and I just want to know, why are you doing that? Are you a hater? Don't be a hating ass hoe. You clearly keep coming back here because you like my content, so go ahead and hit the subscribe button. But I won't judge you. If you a hating ass hoe and you want to watch from the bushes, be yourself. I appreciate you for being here nonetheless. Let's get into this video. If you haven't liked this video, go ahead and like the video so you don't forget to like it, because you are going to like the content, and get in the comments. Let me know what you think about the content. We have to talk about what Carlos and Dustin Ross has to say about Kimmy and her relationship, etc. And truth be told, I'm not going to spend much time on this. I just wanted to put together a debunker because I was completely appalled at the fact that Dustin Ross got up on Beyonce's internet and said that Kimmy was a girl's girl, because this is why I don't like men. Granted, I like Dustin Ross, okay, but I absolutely disagree with his analysis of Letitia and Kimmy, and that's okay. You know, you can't agree with everybody, but when it comes to his thoughts or his comments as far as Kimmy being a girl's girl, like I said, y'all, was appalled. So I put together this debunker because it's no way in the world anybody on God's green earth thinks Kimmy is a girl's girl, not even her husband. And I'm not going in on Dustin Ross. I'm just saying, men sometimes just need to not talk about women and their issues and women's rights because they just do not have the depth. Now, I'm not saying Dustin don't have the depth, but what I'm saying is most women thought Kimmy was the matriarch of the group, and they thought that she brought logical sense to a lot of the nonsense that was going on the platform. Now, I'm not one of those women. I always knew Kimmy was a mean, nasty ass person, but a lot of people did like Kimmy at one point because they thought she was extremely reasonable. So maybe he viewed that as women thinking that she was a girl's girl, but no, sir, it's not that at all. Being a girl's girl means you can align yourself with women and women's rights and issues. Speaking up for yourself, speaking up for other women, and having self-respect, values, and integrity. Don't get this twisted with always aligning yourself with women in general, because a lot of women are not right. Girls don't typically align themselves with hating ass hoes, and hating ass hoes always are intimidated by girls, because girls are secure within themselves to uplift other women and speak up for them when wrong is done onto them, even if they don't necessarily like that woman. Regardless, a girl's girl will never knock another woman when she's down. A girl's girl, when seeing another woman going through hardships, especially if she is close to that person and or know that person or is in that person's group or circle, will extend grace and love and support to that woman, because ultimately we want to see you doing good and whole. We don't ever want to see you down. A girl's girl don't want to be all up in your business. They want to be of support. A girl's girl never seeks validation from men, because ultimately men feel validated by the type of woman that they can have. Girls value themselves too much to ever compete with another woman, because ultimately we know that we will never be her and she'll never be me. Girls don't position themselves in alignment with men that are taking their ex-wife to court for full custody of their children when that woman is a great loving mother and he had cheated on that woman for 5+ years and created a baby on her. Girls would never align themselves with a man that attempted to put out revenge P on another woman. A girl's girl would never attempt to sway a husband into pleasing and making his side chick happy over his wife. A girl's girl would never think a man that would do all the things that Walkie Talkie has done to a woman is a good guy. Kimmy never compliments the other women, and she's always opposing women's issues and rights, even at her own detriment. A girl's girl will never be in a marriage with a man that expect her to just turn around and take it. A girl's girl could never understand where Marceau is coming from when it comes to the way he antagonizes, gaslight, and manipulates his wife. And I'm gonna leave the girl's girl comment there because I have the debunker to prove it. Men don't know what a girl's girl is. Next, Carlos basically said if Kimmy like it, he love it. He was basically saying in the interview, we can't tell Kimmy how to deal with her husband. And I think that's a misconception. Kimmy is on a reality TV show talking about her marital issues, and we have opinions on it, whether they're strong or not, granted. But if Kimmy is talking about her marital issues and they are extremely detrimental to the way younger women may view her and try to take that advice and implement that into their livelihood, we as women have the right to step in and say, hold on, ho. You setting us back 100 years. And I think that's ultimately why so many women are appalled by Kimmy in this libido situation, and ultimately the way her and Maurice's relationship is operated. I do believe everybody should do what's best for them, but also Kimmy is in denial. Kimmy tries to act as if she has all of her shit together when really her husband displays an extreme distaste for her. And I say an extreme distaste for her because any man that would even bother you about having intimacy while you are battling a life-threatening disease is selfish. He doesn't value you, and he doesn't look at you as a person. And for you to get on national television and say the best thing for you was to fake it, why so? That is dangerous. We as women, black women especially, are not going to allow her to be on any platform talking that bullshit. I also believe this is just the way men think, because a lot of times men operate as if they can't tell another man when they're wrong. And they also feel like they shouldn't have many opinions of men in their relationships or how other men run their relationships. Men also don't care how they show up in entertainment, or at least the men in our community. But again, I ain't gonna go there because y'all really be hot about that. And I don't know why. But us, black women, when there is a black woman that is representing us in the wrong light or in a bad light, we have stuff to say. We don't always agree, and sometimes it's 50-50, sometimes it's 70, whatever, but we have stuff to say about the way our sister is representing us, especially on TV. So it's absolutely pathetic and appalling for this 50-plus-year-old woman to have this nasty, mean-spirited energy with a woman like Mel that chose to free herself and build some sense of security within herself and love herself enough to leave someone that was being nasty to her. She sits on stage and says the best thing for her was to fake it. Why? That's the issue. She's not being honest. If she would get on this platform and be honest and say, I'm the type of woman that don't want to lose my husband and I'm willing to do any and everything for him, then we'll be able to operate from that standpoint. But she does not operate in a sense of transparency, and I think that's the issue. She tries to gaslight us and say like, oh, what do you want me to be transparent about? Be transparent about your actions. No woman is going to say she sits there and fakes it while she's fighting a life-threatening disease or health battle for no reason. You feel like you have to sit there and take it, or you feel like taking it was the best thing for you because you don't want to lose him. Why don't you want to lose him, Kimmy? Because you got him with your legs open. He is a freaky deaky. He is somebody that you feel like would step out on you. But Kimmy has been lying this entire time about how she really feels about this relationship or this marriage that she has. So Carlos, although you feel like we can't tell her how she should handle her marriage, we not trying to tell her how to handle her damn marriage. We trying to tell her, if you're going to stay with that disaster, then be honest and transparent about the situation that you're actually in. Really, you don't want to be alone. You're one of them older women that has gotten up in age. This is the first time you've ever been married. You don't want to die alone. So you're willing to put up with and deal with stuff that women should never have to deal with or never suffer through. And you deal with that because you do not have any type of security within yourself. You are insecure and you feel like your only validation comes from a man and being married to one, Kimmy. So when you sit on the stage and try to play with our intelligence and say the best thing for you was faking it and not elaborate, understand, we already know why the best thing for you was faking it, sweetie. We've been in relationships with people that couldn't hold it together, where we've had to make decisions of leaving or staying. You are one of the women that made a decision to stay in a relationship with a man that is erratic when it comes to keeping himself disciplined. So again, when we talk about you and the best thing for you is taking it, why? That is some weird shit. If the best thing for you was taking it, that was because it's a requirement. Because the best thing for you was to heal. The best thing for you was to find yourself. The best thing for you was to find a hobby other than looking for your libido. But that's really all I have to say about this. I'm going to let these clips play. This video is long because I did do a debunker. I did do the clips of the interview where they were talking about Kimmy. Sidebar, Carlos, go ahead and demote Kimmy and Maurice to friend of the show, because y'all didn't even really talk about Maurice at all. They didn't talk about Maurice at all in that interview, which would go to show that he is irrelevant. Nobody cares about him and nobody pays him any attention. They spoke about Kimmy literally only for a minute and a half. So with that being said, that lets you know all you need to know. They are irrelevant and there's really nothing to talk about.
Out to Kimmy. Kimmy looked so good in that reunion. I love that color on her. Yes. That those beach kind of, you know, she looked like she was just a island gal kind of. It was just, she looked so pretty to me. So pretty. So shout out to Kimmy.
Pretty and soft in the hair, and the body. You know, Kimmy,
beautiful
woman, beautiful woman. Maurice the Dictator made an unfortunate comment on my podcast about Kimmy just lays there and takes it like a champ, right? With a lot of people, like I said, at the reunion, felt like it was sexual abuse. Like, what are we doing here? And people really do feel, and I want to get your opinion.
Sure.
People really do feel like Kimmy let Maurice get away with that. And that she didn't really go as hard as maybe her fans did, or the fans of the show. They felt she gave Maurice a pass. When you were watching that tonight, did you feel like Kimmy gave Maurice a pass for that comment?
You know, here's what I thought. I thought that, first of all, I think that the take that you just expressed that a lot of the viewers have is very easy to understand. We're watching Kimmy, who has been virtually non-problematic, you know, for her entire time on this show. She's been a fan favorite, someone who has been, you know, a girl's girl, a team player, you know, overwhelmingly viewed as such on this cast. So when you see her struggling with something as you know, serious as a breast cancer diagnosis and going through those woes and being physically vulnerable and going through something, we are automatically concerned for her. We're automatically on her side fiercely. You know, that we came out in droves, like whatever Kimmy say is cool, whatever she feels is what it is, and leave her alone while she's going through this. That's how the viewers felt. So certain viewers did want to see a very strong reaction to what they felt was, you know, the unspeakable. Even approaching her at such a vulnerable time, you know, with any sexual demands just seems a little out of touch. It seems a little tactless. It seems a little like read the room. You know what I mean? And I think the shocking nature of that request being made in general is what I think the fans wanted to see addressed or reacted to in a way that made sense. So I completely understand people feeling like she let him slide because she didn't say that was fucked up how you did me
she did
on that stage. Yeah.
So he slid. So, I mean,
the electric slide. The cha-cha slide. Slide to the left. Okay. Slide to the right. 2 hops. Okay, that was the cha-cha slide he did.
Let me see you pop your
Okay. Okay, hello. So yeah, maybe it was a slide going on.
Oh my God.
Okay?
I need my oxygen boost.
But no, to put it quite clear, oxygen boost. To put it quite clear, we don't like nobody fucking with Kimmy, okay? And we don't like nobody fucking with her while she's going through something. And so to see her, dealing with that serious diagnosis, and to hear him talking about having sex, it just was off-putting for the viewers. And they did want to see her say, "Hey, Maurice, that's fucked up what you did." You know what I'm saying? And I'm worth more than that. But I think that, again, this is a married couple, a happily married couple who have been together for many years before we all got a view into their relationship. There's a lot of history there. And I think she knows him obviously a lot better than all of us do as the audience. So she was soft to him because that's her husband. They're in a relationship. And just because we don't like something that he did, or we may deem something that he did, really bad, she may have a different reaction. And I think she's 100% entitled to have that. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I also think, look, we are getting a peek inside people's marriages.
Mm-hmm,
and the beauty of this franchise is everybody's marriage is operated differently. Right. And there does come a point to me, right, where you have your opinion, and that's fine. But I'm never one to try to tell someone who's in a marriage how their marriage should be operating.
Yeah, there's a line there.
When it comes to Kimmy and Maurice, like, look, if she dealt with it the way she wanted to and they're good, I think we all should just be like, that's great. Like, and I think what is unfortunate, because the comments that I read were, again, like, you let him get by so easily, he needs to get checked. And it's like, how are we going to tell somebody how to check their husband? Like, that's
about the most personal of their business, right? Their sex life as a husband and wife is kind of, we kind of got to look from outside the club on that one. So, you know what I'm saying? That's her choice. She made her choice. And, everybody's going to have a different threshold of what they consider to be, too much for them, or what they consider to be something that they can work through. And ultimately, this was a show that started off, it's called literally Love and Marriage Huntsville. It was about 3 married couples and the worlds that existed around them and that connected them. So we entered this rooting.
You did.
No, I can't win. A man cannot win. I got you.
Nothing else matters.
It does matter.
So once one spouse cheats, everything after that
That could have been done.
Hold on. Listen to this.
Question. Once one spouse cheats, everything after that is fair game.
Yeah.
We don't do open marriages. It is not on deck.
We changing out flippers and clips and stuff.
That's how I got to meet Maurice, because I kind of stalked him on Facebook for a little while.
Hey.
And Patricia, my girlfriend, she was like,
Oh,
he's a barber. And I was like, really? She was like, yeah, he cuts hair. And I was like, word. So I went on Facebook and I was like, I hear you cut hair. And he was like, I do. I said, well, I have a son that needs a haircut.
As a single mother of a young gentleman, I actually took that opportunity as a chance to get to know Maurice. And so he came over to cut Jalen's hair. So that was one of our very first introductions.
She said that was the first time I met her. Actually, that was the second time I met you. That was shady.
So wait.
Okay,
wait.
No,
We need to
you have
understand.
got to hear this, because
What's the
this is
first
almost
time?
crazy.
Okay.
The first time I met Kiowa, I had no idea who she was, nor any of these Scots. She sold adult toys and I bought them. And how some kind of relationship came from that, where she feels like now I'm shady because your next encounter, I met your husband, I have no idea. But that's what she's making this correlation to.
Brother was married to her sister-in-law at that time, which is Kimmy's friend.
Of 13 years.
Right. They lived in Huntsville. We lived in Michigan. We went down to visit. She was actually selling the toys. Kimmy showed up and bought toys, but I didn't know who Kimmy was.
No,
Or do
nobody did.
You feel like his
like her making implications like I interfered in their marriage and that kind of thing. That makes
Well, do you feel like you interfered in their marriage?
Of course not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Because you and I never really had that conversation. Like, we've never talked about that. I've heard it implied, but I've never just asked you. Like, you know what I'm saying? So whenever you and Maurice met, they were already divorced?
They weren't divorced. They were in the process. They had both signed the paperwork and they were waiting for the paperwork.
So why did she even think that you interfered in the marriage?
Even though they had signed papers, she was talking about reconciliation.
And even when I met Maurice, as a matter of fact, there was a moment when I felt like I didn't want to date Maurice. And it's funny because you were asking about dating situations, something he was used to. Part of what we both weren't used to when we dated was chasing someone, because we were used to being chased. Absolutely. And so that was a road speed bump for us, a big one. And
trolled him a little bit on Facebook and got to know him. He was so handsome and delicious, and I just like to look at him. So I asked him to come and cut my son's hair because they told me he cut hair. So then he came over in the little red Corvette. And from there, we just kind of were banter, you know, how you doing, that kind of thing. It probably took a while before he asked me to go.
If it feel like it's done, yeah. What I heard her say was she moved out because she thought it was gonna be done.
No, we never.
We been good. How you been? I've been good. You been busy. Doing what?
Melody was a little bit extra. She still is. How y'all been?
Good. Yeah, I mean, right now, she's like the happiest she's been in a long time. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, that's good.
So that's effort that I'm putting in, that she's putting in as well.
She's the happiest, seems like she's the unhappiest.
She's the side chick. Don't even say her name.
I'm not gonna call her a side chick. And we don't have to talk about it. But I'm just saying it's unfortunate that so many different people are like collateral damage. I don't feel like at this juncture, oh, that's what she deserves. Mel don't deserve it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
To be hurt and sad and embarrassed or any of that.
Yes.
So nobody deserves it as a human. Nobody deserves it.
Except for me. You know, I think I put everybody through this by trying to be greedy and things of that nature. You know what I'm talking about?
You don't sound like you're placing blame. You own what happened. You say, I'm sorry, it's time to move on. In my opinion, you're just a nice guy, Martell. Maybe too nice. Maybe that's what got you in trouble.
I'm gonna take it. You know, Mel and I, we talked about that, and that's what she said.
I typically say Martell has a big heart, and he does. I think that's what causes him a lot of his angst. And he thinks with his heart, and like he's a super sweet guy, till you back him in a corner. But he's super sweet. And this is what's weird, because her scenario implies he cheated. That's the scenario. However, it just looked like WTF. Like, really, that's what we're gonna do here? Right. I think it's hard not to be upset in regards to your husband cheating. But I completely disagree with the way Melody put Martell on the spot. I felt poorly for him.
When I was speaking my truth about the term that I gave Tisha, her response was just negative right off the rip. If I'm telling you about a conversation we've had where it's been made clear that you felt a certain way because I was doing this or that, and we weren't kicking it as much, and I'm like, it wasn't you, I had no problem with you, I had personal things going on. You were privy to that conversation. She was like, as if it never happened.
And that's fair.
And I wish you had spoken up, Kimmy.
Well, that comes from Kimmy, we don't want you in the middle. Y'all gotta make up your mind where that rule applies and when it doesn't apply.
I don't want you in the middle, I just want you to tell the truth.
I do.
When you can.
And I do, exactly that. However, I elected to stay out of the middle because Miss Alma was handling the situation.
Okay.
And I was privy to that conversation, and I agree that that conversation happened.
But I was told that I was a liar.
Mel, like real talk,
Real talk,
y'all
absolutely.
have y'all's own truths. And I've said this to her. I think there's times when you've said things and you believe it to be 100% true. And she doesn't feel like she's lying either. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's nothing that you can say that's gonna convince Tisha that it's not a lie.
And that's when I was like, forget it, and I left. I'm really just trying to keep myself calm, peaceful, together, and move forward with the positive relationships that are meant for me to move forward with. I don't have time for the BS. I'm dealing with Martell. I got that to deal with. You know he has a baby on the way.
Is that true?
It is true. Golly. Girl, that's why I'm so done. Like, it's like, goodbye. I feel like he is just so amped on doing whatever it takes, lies included, to make me seem like I'm a certain way that I'm not, and I'm tired of it. And then he thinks he can disrespect me. First of all, you disrespected me for years. Let's be clear on that. You kept up. Nobody but you. You kept doing that. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna keep being disrespectful. Who the you think you are? And it's like, I'm to the point where I'm just like, I don't want to talk to your demons because that's where you're coming from right now. This should have been over. And I'm so for real. And I didn't want it to. I promise I didn't want all this extra shit. I just wanted it to be over. You go, I go. We do what we got to do with the kids and just let it be over. And he just makes every day a living hell. If any way possible that he can, it just makes me feel like I just want to get my kids and leave. Just leave and change my number. Don't tell nobody just so I can have peace. This is not what I want for my life. This is not what I want for my children. I don't want the stress. I don't want the drama. I want what's best for us. And I want things to end amicably. Like, I don't understand. I don't know why Martell can't just feel the same way. Kimmy, I'm sorry. I know Martell, good guy. He ain't.
You ain't gotta apologize to me.
And only you would know the true him. You've been married to him, and you know the good, the bad, and the ugly. First of all, why the hell you care who I'm entertaining or sleeping with? You got a whole baby on the way that you need to be focused on and worried about. He has a baby for real, for real? For real, for real. That's what he needs to be focused and worried about. And that ain't got shit to do with me. You better handle that over there with your by yourself. He's just trying to make you like a whole slut out here. He called me a hoe. Oh, wow.
Oh, the mother of his child?
He called me a hoe. And then you wonder why I have no respect for you. Because you ain't what?
How do you feel like
No.
you keep saying you want your wife, you want your family, but you keep saying stupid that doesn't bring you back to your family?
Told him, it was like words you cannot take back. Once you put it out there, you can't take it back.
That's facts. He could move this thing along. He don't even have an attorney right now anymore.
Because he don't want it. He want his cake and eat it too. I love Tell, that's my boy, but you can't keep doing that.
Because at the end of the day, it's the kids.
It
like,
is.
You have to think about the kids.
Yep, I do. And you know what? I love seeing my kids happy when they're with me. Yeah. We have a good time.
I'm sorry. I'd be glad when everybody is kind of like on a good space. Like on a good space where you don't have to feel that way. You know what I'm saying? I feel poorly. I feel poorly.
You have to be adults.
Yeah, Martell ain't about to change. I'm sorry. It's a
scenario. The only person that could make it better was Martell. Because we're over there like, God dog, Martell. And then
we're all like that. And this is what's weird because her scenario implies he cheated. That's the scenario. However, it just looked like WTF. Like, really? That's what we're gonna do here?
Right.
I think it's hard not to be upset in regards to your husband cheating. But I completely disagree with the way Melody put Martell on the spot. I felt poorly for him.
Yeah, I pull up, roll the window down it. I pull up, roll the window down it. Yeah, I pull up, roll the window down it.
Baby, you don't know what you do to me. Between me and you, I feel like chemistry. I won't let no one come and take your place. Cause the love you give, you can't
purpose
in the case of anybody. That's why I'm not. I spend my life